What's up, y'all? It's your guy eBay Fight Predictions in the building, and these are the one out of the 3 videos I will be making for the new year before any of the fights start. By the way, happy new year to you guys, and I hope you guys are enjoying the holidays. So just want to start off by saying that. But yeah, man, these are the 1 out of 3 videos I'm going to be making for the new year, especially for this week since we don't have no fights to talk about. But yeah, top 10 fights to make in 2024. I think this year has a lot of potential to give us some banger fights, and I think most of these I feel like should happen based on the fact that the people want to see it. The people want to see it, and I don't know, like, my thing is 2023, we had a great year. I'm not gonna lie. You know, we were given the fights that we wanted. But UFC 300 is coming up, and I think we got to kill it this year, man. We got to kill it with the right fights. So yeah, let me get into it. Top 10. At number 10, I know some people are gonna be a little confused by this one. I went with Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira. Now, it's been kind of heatedly debated recently on who really deserves the title shot with Islam. Is it Charles or Justin Gaethje? The reason why I'm going to say Charles, and I know this is going to sound crazy, and I know Beneil has just been knocked out by Arman, and I know there's some talk about Arman versus Charles. Forget all of that. There's no compelling fight like Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira. There's no compelling fight. Justin Gaethje versus Islam Makhachev, it's a compelling fight, but it does not compel the public like Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev, like it did the first time, especially the first time. This was, people were comparing it Khabib versus, you know, Tony, Next Generation, and I feel like that first fight, you know, I kind of felt like Charles didn't have a real true opportunity to give himself a good fight for himself, and a good account of himself, I felt like, in that first time. And I think obviously rematches are important, and yeah, you want Islam to fight someone else. You know, he's fought Charles before, but I feel like one more run back with this matchup, it compels me. Now, do I think Charles, would it be nice maybe Charles beats Arman and then he fights Islam? Maybe, but I do want to see this fight again, and I just remember the hype around the first fight. Was it October? Yeah, in October, like how people were hyped for it and stuff like that. So I want to see hype again. So yeah, hopefully we get to see the matchup. At number 9, I went with Michael Chandler versus Con Man McGregor. McNuggets. Mick Stretcher. No, I'm just playing. I want to see this fight, and I think everyone wants to see this fight. Out of the top 5 guys, especially honestly out of the top 10 lightweights, I think this is Conor's probably more favorable matchup, especially in the top 5. And I think him versus Chandler is just such a great fight. I know he's playing the waiting game with Chandler, and Chandler might just call it uncle and then dip out and go find someone else to fight. But this is a great fight, and we'll truly see what Conor has to give left to the sport, because I think Chandler's, he's fought for the belt. He's fought some of the best guys at 155. I don't think title aspirations, especially at the age of 36, 37 he's at right now, is what he wants. I think he wants fun fights. I think he wants good fights where he puts on good work, and he has a good highlight resume to show off before he retires. But I think this is a great fight for both guys, honestly. I mean, Chandler, the money, and I mean the opportunity to beat Conor. I mean, you beat Conor, everyone's talking about you. Just last year, or a few years ago, actually, everyone was talking about Dustin Poirier when he knocked him out. So Chandler versus Conor is a great fight, and if Conor wants any chance to get back at that title scene, man, beating Chandler is your best bet right now, because he's such an easier stylistic matchup. He's a guy that will come out there and strike with you. He's not just going to go out there wrestler mode for 25 minutes. It's just not the kind of fighter Chandler is. And it's a great fight. It's going to be a fun fight. So yeah. So that is my number 9 pick. At number 8, I'm going with Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje. Now, I want to see this fight more than ever. I I think Max Holloway is played out at 145 pounds. I think it's a wrap. All right, he's knocking out Korean Zombie. All right, you know what I'm saying? I've had enough. And he beat Arnold Allen. I've had enough. The guy, he's lost to Volkanovski 3 times. I don't really. I mean, it would be cool legacy-wise for Ilya if he goes out there and knocks out Volk and then he goes fight, you know, Max Holloway for his first title defense. It would be some good legacy stuff if Max is in that situation, but I don't think that's how it's gonna roll. And I think I've seen Max in enough 145 title fights, and I'm done. I want to see Max Holloway at 155 pounds, and you know they consider Max Holloway a BMF. Why not fight the champ? Justin Gaethje, I think he's ready for a title shot. I'm not gonna say he's not, but this fight with Max Holloway is big, bro. It is a big fight, and one more fight, and I think it's an easier fight for him to win, honestly, than the Dustin Poirier fight. I think this is stylistically a really good fight for Justin Gaethje, and it's such a great fan-friendly fight for UFC 300. Max Holloway's debut, or re-debut at 155, run it back, and let's see if maybe Max can be a player at 155 pounds. And an interesting name we could see in the division, and maybe a new name for Islam Makhachev. But for sure, if Justin Gaethje goes out there and knocks out Max Holloway and also has Dustin Poirier and Rafael Fiziev in his win streak, he has a title shot no matter what. So I think this is a great fight, and it's such a solidifying fight for both guys. So that's a fight I really want to see UFC not UFC, but I really want to see in 2024. So at number 7, and a lot of you guys are gonna laugh about this, I want Sergey Pavlovich to fight Ciryl Gane. Both these guys had a little bit of hype after they went on some win streaks, and now it's died down. And you know, there was a time where Ciryl Gane was the next generation of heavyweight. Now people are saying he's one of the biggest frauds of all time. Sergey Pavlovich, the scariest hitter. He had Ngannou running. Now he's a joke. You know, he's a meme. Tom Aspinall's son. You know, but I think the reason why I want to see this fight, first of all, it's a high level heavyweight fight, and second off, I think stylistically, Ciryl Gane can go out here and dance on Sergey Pavlovich, and the people aren't aware, and that's why I want this fight, because I think a lot of people have been disrespecting Ciryl Gane lately, and have been calling him out, and I think Ciryl Gane would go out there and literally jab this dude's face off, and I want to see people watch that. I need people to see that, and that's why I need this fight in 2024. So yeah, Sergey Pavlovich, I think he's about to go on a bit of a losing skid. That's just my opinion. So yeah, that was number 7. At number 6, I went with Deiveson Figueiredo versus Cody No Love Garbrandt. Now this is a bit of a wild fight, but it's a fight we need to see. This fight they promised us almost 3 years ago now, you know, in 2020, and we didn't get it. Why not get it for bantamweight? I know Deiveson Figueiredo just beat Rob Font in a phenomenal performance, but at the same time, you know, I can't really think of anyone that, you know, he can fight right now. I just can't. That just doesn't make sense like Cody Garbrandt. Yeah, I know Cody Garbrandt's not in the rankings right now, but he's on a 2-fight win streak. Looked amazing against Brian Keller, and him versus Deiveson Figueiredo is a great fight, and I think it's a great fight for both guys. Deiveson, another name at bantamweight, and a more chinnier guy that he can go out there and truly knock out. I was surprised he couldn't find the finish against Rob Font. I thought he was eventually going to do it in the 3rd round, but he just couldn't. And Cody Garbrandt, I mean, it's a big fight, a big comeback fight, and he wins this. I mean, he's back in the rankings. He's back in the mix. Beat a former champ, so it's a great fight, and it's going to be a barn burner. These guys are just going to go out there, slang and bang, and one of these guys are going to get knocked out. So it's a great fucking fight. So yeah, it's a fight I need to see. At number 5, I went with Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Kamaru Usman. It's a fight I need to see in 2024. The reason is, I think Kamaru Usman has one more fight to give. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, they want to do, what's it called? Usman and, you know, versus Drix Duplessis or Robert Whittaker or anybody, right? But I want to see Kamaru Usman truly test Shavkat Rakhmonov. I think Shavkat has had the performance against Jeff Neal, the performance against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, the performance against Neil Magny. But if he goes out there and beats, doesn't matter if he's old, young, or what, whatever. He goes out there and beats Kamaru Usman, he's legit, and he's someone to look out for. And we gotta see a fight with Kamaru Usman and Shavkat Rakhmonov. It is a must. It is a big must to see that fight. Number 4, I went with Israel Adesanya versus Khamzat Chimaev. I know a lot of people are saying, hey, Adesanya versus Dricus Duplessis is a must. We have to see that fight. Or Adesanya versus Sean Strickland rematch. We got to see that fight. I think this fight in particular is the most important fight to make in 2024 in the Khamzat Chimaev project the UFC has been trying to launch on the fans. And it's been a successful project. I mean, he's developed a sneakily good resume. He's moved to another division, and he seems like he can be very successful, but at the same time flawed. He is probably one of the few top contenders that has championship aspirations, that has been labeled as future champion, but has some initial flaws and a lack of the trust from the MMA fandom as a true #1 contender to the title and a guy to win the championship. He has those asterisks on his cardio, on his conditioning, and especially on his gas, and he hasn't been able to dominate a truly great opposition that he's faced, right? So, obviously the Usman fight was close. The Gilbert Burns fight was close. Yeah, did he win? He did. But he never dominated the top guys. And I think that's why Adesanya is such an important fight for Khamzat to have, because he has a legitimate opportunity to go out there and dominate the former champion, the guy that was number 3 or at least in the top 5 pound for pound rankings, and a perennial long-term champion in a division when you have long-term champions like Anderson Silva. So I mean, for Khamzat Chimaev, this is such an important fight to make in 2024. It's the fight for his career, and it really does slingshot him to championship title fights that people want to see him in. So, and for Adesanya, I mean, it's, hey man, come back. It's about getting it back, letting people remember who you are, showing them that you still got it in you. And how can you not be back in title fight scenarios after beating Khamzat Chimaev? If Israel Adesanya goes out there and TKOs Khamzat Chimaev, he's back in the talk, man. He is back. So it's a great fight. I hope we see it for UFC 302 as well, and it's a fight I need to see. So yeah, but yeah, these top 3, I feel like these fights have to happen, and if they don't happen, it's a travesty. At least 2 out of the 3 need to happen. At number 3, I went with Jamal Hill versus Alex Pereira. I know a lot of people want to see Jamal Hill versus Tom Aspinall. Fuck that. That doesn't make sense. I don't want to see it. This fight in itself is an important fight that we have to see because of the storyline, because of the trash talk, because of one guy was the former champ, the other guy just became the champ. It's a fight we have to see. And when I talk about the storyline in itself, I mean Jamal Hill beat Grandpa Glover, shook Alex Pereira's hand, looked him in the face, and that's all she wrote right then and there. We gotta see the fight, man. We gotta see the fight. And if we don't, man, it would be a travesty. Honestly, it would be a travesty. And Alex Pereira building up his legacy against a guy in Jamal Hill who, I mean, man, it's insane the performance he put on Glover Teixeira. He put it all. He put on a special performance that night, and he let the whole world know who he was. So, for both these guys, this fight is important. They both need it, truly, independently. They both need it. to solidify their careers as champions. And also, you know, 205 hasn't had a guy defend their belt, so you know it would be good for Alex Pereira to defend this belt. So yeah, and you know also Jamal Hill has an opportunity to prove that he is the real champ. So yeah, at number 2, this fight just has to happen because of all the talk from Belal Muhammad. Belal Muhammad versus Leon Edwards 2 has to happen. All right, enough of the cry baby syndrome. I am just tired of hearing it, and at this point, just give the man his title shot. Belal Muhammad, I just want to say one thing. Respect to the guy. I mean, the resume he's developed in the lead up ever since his loss to, well, not his loss, his no contest to Leon Edwards. I mean, I give him a lot of credit. You know, he's clawed his way back to this exact very moment to rematch Leon Edwards, and respect is given. You know, beating the likes of a Damian Maia, beating the likes of a Wonder Boy Stephen Thompson, Vicente Luque, Sean Brady, and then Gilbert Burns. You know, good wins, right? And I think Leon does have to fight this man because, like, first of all, I just don't want people saying Leon is ducking this dude, because that's far from it. And second of all, I mean, Belal Muhammad deserves it, and it's a good fight. I really do think it's a good fight. I think Belal, I think he's gonna come in this rematch a lot different. I think he's gonna try to wrestle a lot more, and it'll be really interesting to see how Leon deals with another grappler, especially a guy who's such on a really good win streak and has been active. Belal Muhammad deserves a shot, to be honest, and it should be a good fight though, nonetheless. At number 1, I went with Johnny Bones Jones and Tom Aspinall, the thumbnail for the video. Now a lot of people think this fight will never happen. I kind of disagree. I mean, you have the interim champion in Tom Aspinall, you have the champion in John Bones Jones. John has one fight left in him, and Stipe Miocic was in the situation because it kind of made sense. So Ragan got destroyed. Sergey Pavlovich hasn't really I mean, he was a legitimate contender after the Curtis fight, but he didn't legitimize himself like Tom Aspinall did by knocking Sergey Pavlovich out and just having that interim title around his waist. It just tells me, why not have a good champ versus champ kind of fight, champ versus interim champ kind of fight? And this fight intrigues me way more than the Stipe Miocic fight. Why give Tom Aspinall the interim title? I know it looks cool for him, and you know this could be a Robert Whittaker GSP situation. I know that, but I think the UFC is always a revolving door when it comes to ideas, and they're not always just stuck in their ways. Sometimes, you know, they do change plans, and I think, why not change the plan of Stipe Miocic fighting John Bones Jones and put Tom Aspinall in there? This fight is big. It's crazy big. And second of all, this would be more impressive to me as John Jones' retirement fight if he goes out there and beats a kid that has the potential to be the future GOAT of the division. That's how good Tom Aspinall is. Beating Stipe Miocic is expected. Beating Tom Aspinall is phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? That is how you end a great career. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm thinking, and that's where I'm kind of leaning towards. And those are the kind of fights I want to see for 2024. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Go follow me on my Instagram, my X account, my Twitter account, my TikToky. Like and comment and subscribe, and let's get this eBay Fight Prediction Nation growing. Love y'all, and goodbye.